Hey friends, it's me, Yo Mama So Sweaty, freshly sunburned, slightly dehydrated, and completely addicted to spice, because I was lucky enough to get invited by Funcom to play the Dune Awakening preview. And when I say play, I mean I disappeared into the desert for 70 hours, turning over every rock, crawling through every cave, and probably annoying every dev by asking too many questions. But I'm back with stories to tell, and maybe a little sand in places where sand shouldn't be. And I've got to say, this game has almost everything I've ever wanted in a survival MMO. There's one thing that's missing, and I'll get to that, but first, let's talk about what makes Dune Awakening great. It's a desert planet, but Arrakis is stunning. You'd think it would just be endless dunes, but nope. There's verticality, hidden oases, forgotten ruins, and lighting that just makes everything feel alive. Even on low settings, this game looks fantastic. It's the kind of world where I kept stopping to look around right before something tried to kill me. Let's talk lore, because the premise is pretty wild.
You will go to Arrakis as our agent, prisoner. You have one task. Find the Fremen.
In this version of the Dune universe, Paul Atreides was never born. His mother obeyed the Bene Gesserit and gave birth to a daughter instead. Duke Atreides is still alive, the Atreides and Harkonnens are still at war, and the Fremen, they've mysteriously vanished. You start the game as a prisoner en route to Arrakis, but your ship crashes, and you wake up in the middle of the desert with nothing but your will to survive and some serious questions about what happened to the Fremen. Your journey becomes about survival, discovery, and eventually awakening the sleeper. At some point in your journey, you'll have to choose where your loyalty lies, House Atreides or House Harkonnen. There's no neutral path. You pick a side, you pledge your loyalty, and you commit. And trust me, it's not just a flavor choice. The decision shapes your entire experience. House Atreides is all about honor, discipline, and diplomacy. If you like working as a team and not stabbing people in the back just for funsies, this is your crew. House Harkonnen, on the other hand, is brutal, cunning, and ruthless. If you're the kind of player who enjoys aggressive politics, chaotic PvP, and a lot of villain flair, you'll feel right at home. Once you choose a house, you'll start climbing their ranks, unlocking exclusive weapons, armor, and building sets themed to your faction's style. The further up you go, the more influence you gain. Just remember, you can only betray your house once. After that, you're locked in permanently. So choose wisely, or be ready to live with your regrets. Eventually, you'll pledge your entire guild to that house, and that's where the real power struggle begins. Your house will take part in the Landsraad, the assembly of noble houses that vote on world policies. It's a political battlefield where every vote matters, and every decision can shift power across the world. Control the spice? Sure, but first control the vote. Combat in Dune Awakening hits that sweet spot. It's challenging, but not overly frustrating. You've got to think on your feet, manage your stamina, time your dodges, and know when to pull back. Enemies don't just stand there waiting to get smacked. They will punish you if you're careless. But it never feels cheap. If you mess up, you know why. It's not one of those games where you die and think, well, that was BS. It's more like, okay, yeah, I deserved that. Then you respawn, adjust your approach, and go in smarter. Weapons are responsive, movement feels smooth, and the skill-based system rewards practice. And to make the whole system feel even better, there are a bunch of quality-of-life features that just make sense. Weapon switching, super easy. You can quickly swap between your gear using hotkeys. Things like bandages or food buffs can be assigned to hotkeys, and here's the best part. If you run out and pick more up later, they automatically go back into the same hotkey. No micromanaging, no reassigning things mid-combat, just smooth gameplay that lets you focus on staying alive and kicking butt. I also love that you can switch between a sniper rifle, shotgun, sword, whatever type of weapon you want, and still do real damage. Weapons use the same type of ammo, either light or heavy darts, and crafting ammo is quick and easy. No grindy nonsense and no carrying around 10 different ammo types. But you do have big decisions to make. Where will you be trained? There are 5 Imperial schools. The Bene Gesserits are masters of body and mind. The troopers are trained infantry. The Mentats are basically human computers. The sword masters are elite martial artists, and the planetologists are survival experts and ecological scholars. You can learn things from multiple trees or go really deep in just a few, but not all. And with a level cap of 200, nobody can become an untouchable god. The world is massive, like really massive. Haga Basin, where players start and most will probably build their base, is 64 square kilometers. That's nearly 2.5 times bigger than the Fallout 76 map. And it's seamless, with no loading screens between zones. The only time you'll see one is if you die, which I obviously never did. Definitely not, nope. Haga Basin is divided into 7 regions, with different biomes and enemies in each. In the preview, I got to explore 2, South Haga, which is controlled by the Scavengers, and Vermilius Gap, which is controlled by the Karab. The other 5 will unlock when the game releases on June 10th. Each Haga Basin siege, which is the Dune term for server, supports 40 concurrent players. You can visit other sieges and team up with players across them, but you can only build a base on one.
Let's settle this.
Gladly. By the laws of Canley.
The world of Arrakis operates under Canley, a formal system of rules that controls when and how the great houses can fight. That means most of the Haga Basin is PvE, so you won't get jumped by some sweaty rando while you're just out collecting scrap metal. I love that everyone gets their own loot in PvE. No fighting over drops, no ninja looting. The only time you're competing for loot is in PvP zones. And there are some areas of the Haga Basin where Canley allows PvP. Welcome to the War of Assassins, specifically the shipwrecks. You'll get a warning before you enter, and trust me, you will want to come prepared, but the loot is usually worth it. The Starter Zone shipwreck in South Haga is PvE only, so it's a great place to learn the ropes before you step into the real danger. Outside of Haga Basin, there are 3 more areas to explore. There's Arrakis and Harco, the game's 2 major social hubs. You'll travel to them via trading posts, just pay for the transportation and off you go. Once you're there, you can meet up with players from other sieges and maybe recruit for your guild or strike a shady deal in the back corner of a cantina. And then there's the Deep Desert, an unforgiving, jaw-dropping 500 square kilometers of pure PvP mayhem. To get there, you'll hop on an ornithopter and fly straight into the chaos. Once you're in, it's all about territory, survival, and making sure your faction walks away with more spice than the others. It's not full loot PvP. You'll keep your equipped gear, but you will lose your resources, your spice, your pride, and probably your cool if you're not careful. And don't get too attached to anything you build out there. Once a week, the Coriolis storm rolls in like a planetary reset button and wipes out everything. Bases, gone. Locations, gone. Your dreams, also probably gone. You can tackle tough areas with a team of 4, and for a lot of the game, that's the sweet spot. Whether you're raiding a shipwreck, fighting clans, or just trying not to die horribly from some mercenaries, having a tight crew makes everything smoother. But let's be real. What you really want to do is build a guild, and you can have up to 32 members, because that's where things start to get serious. Guilds are how you take on the big stuff. Territory control, resource dominance, politics in the Landsrad. It's how you move from surviving to influencing the world. So yeah, team up with a few friends to start, but if you want real power on Arrakis, be in a guild. And hey, if you're looking for a crew to join, I'll be building a guild with my community. What I really love is that guilds in Dune Awakening aren't just big groups of people doing the same thing. You can specialize. You can lean into whatever you love doing and let your teammates cover the rest. And here are just a few of the roles your guild can break into. Scavengers will be the lifeblood of your operation. Scavengers are out in the world looting shipwrecks, exploring forgotten ruins, and gathering resources to keep the guild stocked. Map makers will be your intel specialists. They're out there tracking POIs, enemy movements, PvP hotspots, and anything else the rest of the guild needs to know. Chefs keep the whole crew buffed and battle ready. Food on Arrakis isn't just filler. It boosts your stats, helps with survival, and gives your guild the edge in both PvE and PvP. Base builders will be the architects of your survival. Base builders handle the layout, defenses, crafting stations, and all the logistical magic that turns a pile of stone into a fully functional stronghold. PvP specialists will be the heavy hitters. When it's time to fight over spice, push into enemy territory, or defend your claim, these are the players you call. And honestly, that's just the beginning. As your guild grows, you'll find even more ways to divide responsibilities. You can build a real community inside your guild, and that makes the big political moves in the land strat even more satisfying when your crew is the one behind them. Let's talk about one of my favorite things to do in Dune Awakening: base building. Except they're not just bases, they're called sub-fiefs. Fancy, right? Very political, very Dune. You can build up to 3 standard sub-fiefs on Arrakis, great for setting up outposts, backup camps, or resource hubs. But the real prize is the advanced sub-fief. That one is your main base, and it's bigger, better, and built for flexing. Once you've staked your advanced sub-fief, you can expand it even further using a system called staking units, which basically means you're extending the land you control and unlocking more room to build. And since you can assign co-owner permissions to your guildmates or friends, your whole crew can help you build that desert empire together. The build limit is really generous. You're not going to hit a cap just for adding a 3rd floor or an extra few walls. The build menu is clean, simple, and super well organized. You won't have to spend 20 minutes hunting for a specific wall piece or wondering if you accidentally placed your stairs backwards. And here's the kicker: materials are easy to get, like refreshingly easy. You're not going to spend hours grinding just to build a foundation. You can actually build your base without feeling like you've started a second job. Now let me rave for a second about the storage system, because this system is perfect for anyone who hates inventory management. Crafting weapons and armor, you don't need to drag everything into your backpack. The game just pulls materials directly from your storage containers anywhere on your sub-fief. It's automatic and it works exactly how you wish it worked in other survival games. Even better, there's a super handy auto deposit feature. Here's how it works. You organize each container by type. Let's say one for ore, one for weapon parts, one for armor, whatever. Then when you're loaded up after a run, you don't even have to open the boxes. Just walk up to the container, hit one key, and it auto deposits all matching materials from your inventory. It automatically adds to existing stacks, and if a stack fills up, it'll start a new one. It's stupidly satisfying. And just like with crafting, every storage unit comes with permission settings. You can set it to owner, co-owner, associate, guild, or public. And for those of us who are a little protective of our rare loot, you can set up circuits to control exactly which containers guild members can use and which ones are off limit for your prize stash of raw materials. That system goes pretty deep, so I'll have a video breaking down all of it very soon. But just know, if you've ever had a guildmate accidentally take your stack of legendary items, you're gonna love how this system works. Here's something else I absolutely love. Your base can't be destroyed, not by NPCs, not by other players, as long as your shield is up. Every sub-fief has a shield generator, and as long as you keep it powered and pay your taxes, your base is safe. No coming back to a pile of rubble because you dared to go outside, or I don't know, take a nap. You can even power that shield for weeks at a time, which means if you need to take a break from the game, you totally can. Go on vacation, get busy with work, disappear into another game. Your base will still be there when you get back. It's a survival MMO that respects your time, finally. Now let's talk money. Dune Awakening isn't launching as an early access or beta build. This is the full 1.0 version, and it drops on June 10th. Or you can buy the deluxe version and start playing on June 5th. And if you can't wait that long, I'll be giving out keys to the open beta weekend on May 9th to members of my Discord. The base game is $49.99, and honestly, I love the business model they've chosen. There's no monthly subscription, no battle pass gimmicks, and no weird microtransaction traps. You buy the game once and that's it. All future updates, new zones, new story content, gameplay tweaks are included for free. If you want to spend extra, you can buy cosmetics through DLCs or season passes, which bundle a bunch of DLCs together. But here's the key part. You can't buy power. No higher level gear, no XP boosts, no convenience items that make it a pay-to-win mess. And there's zero in-game monetization. No premium currencies, no store trying to upsell you while you're just trying to craft a knife. Sometimes games feel like they're constantly trying to nickel and dime you, and Dune Awakening doesn't. And in today's gaming world, that's really refreshing. The one thing about Dune Awakening that really stood out to me, beyond the mechanics, the visuals, and the sheer scale, is just how much thought, planning, and care clearly went into making this game. You can feel it in every system, every little quality of life feature, every bit of balance between PvE and PvP. This isn't some rushed cash-in on the Dune name. The team at Funcom made a game they genuinely enjoy playing, and it shows. They respect the source material, they respect the players, and they built something that feels both massive and personal. Now, earlier I said the game has almost everything I've ever wanted. Here's the one thing I don't love. Right now, Dune Awakening is only available on PC. If you're a console player, you're stuck watching from the sidelines. And that's a bummer, because this game is absolutely something I want to play with friends no matter what platform they're on. The good news, the devs have already said that Xbox and PlayStation versions are coming, so it's not a question of if, just when. Fingers crossed it's sooner rather than later, because this is a game that deserves to be in everyone's hands. I can see myself playing this game for thousands of hours. PvE, PvP, guild play, survival, politics, it's all here and it all works. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer without spoiling too much. And if you're thinking about joining House Atreides, maybe I'll see you out there. Just don't steal my spice.